Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Year 11 Parent Information Evening. I hope everyone can hear us okay. I think you've already heard me smiling, let you know that this is being recorded. So if you don't catch anything that's being said this evening, please do watch the recording and go through it again. And if you do have any questions, you can direct that to anybody in the team. Speaking of the team, I'm going to let you know who's actually with us this year. Just click on that for us. Thank you. There are some changes to the team this year. So obviously it's still me as head of year. Hello, Miss Banton. I'm sure you all know who I am by now. We have still got Mrs. Sarah, who's the head of upper school, who we've had since year 9. We also now have joining us Miss Moylan, who's the assistant head teacher, Miss Banger, who's the deputy head teacher. We also have Mrs. Patterson, Preston, that will be working with us as well as the achievement team lead, and we'll go into more information about what she does with us here. Also, Miss Patrick, who's our career advisor, because they'll be talking to all our lovelies in year 11 about their path that they wish to take post 16. We also still have with us as well Mr. Rochford, our pastoral mentor, and Miss Dunville also is our pastoral mentor who works on the wellbeing side of things with school, that was with us since last year in year 10. I just want to start off by saying what an amazing start all of the year 11s have made so far this term. They seem to have come back really positive, really geared up, and we want to thank you as well for all the support that you've provided, because they've come looking really smart in their uniform. They've all got their bags with them ready for their books and their stationery. We will still want your support continuing through year 11, because it is going to get quite difficult for them. So we will like that if you have any information you want from us or any information you wish to give us regarding your lovely children, please get in touch with us and let us know, because it's going to work both ways to get them through this year. Okay, so we just wanted to say they've had a great start. Thank you, and you're going to get a lot of information this evening. So I'm now going to hand you over to the lovely Miss Morin and Miss Sawa, who's going to take you through the rest of this evening. I hope to see you all soon at Parents' Evening. So in the meantime, take care, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, Miss Bantam. Okay. Just admit a few last comments here. Okay, sorry, just a few just come in there. Okay, right, so just the first thing, so obviously in year 11 the students are on the year 11 curriculum. If you need any information about that, you can find that on our website. So if you go on the school website on the Student Life tab, which is at the top, scroll down to our curriculum, and then you will see the drop-down menu for the year 11 curriculum. On there is the curriculums for all of the subjects. So if you want to have a kind of like a deeper look in what the students are learning this year, and take a bit of a vested interest in that, those documents are available on the school website for your reference. Okay. Thanks, Miss. So we've worked on this piece of work over the last year, and we looked at the active ingredients of what makes really successful students and also what gets us the best results. And we've come up with 3 kind of criteria for our learning environment at Chorlton High School. So we say that our learning environment is calm and focused. So we want our students to conduct themselves, move around the school, use correct language, make sure that their attention and focus and their long-term memory retention is always at its best, and that the environment is really calm and focused and respectful to that for them. So it's vital to maximise any of their potential. Our learning environment has habits and routines, and we'll talk to you about the habits and routines we're instilling in our students in year 11. This builds on the piece of work we did all through last year in year 10 on the scholar habits, which the students will be able to tell you about, and you will have had some information on that last year in the year 10 parent information. But it's crucial that they have these habits embedded in their routine. This helps them grow as a CHS scholar. We want them to focus and really think hard, and that again aspires them towards higher grades and being more successful. And then finally, we want a learning environment where our students embrace struggle and repetition. If they find something too easy, they're not aiming for the correct level. So we want them to struggle with things, find things difficult, but then be resilient and continue with that. We want them to repeat and review their learning constantly. because we know that that's what kind of cements it in their long-term memory. And we want them to be motivated, and we want them to, you know, aspire to difficult challenges and practice their skills repeatedly. So all of this links into the memory model, and we've shared this with students in assembly this week. So our memory model obviously draws on our 5 senses of hearing, sight, smell, taste and touch, and that's kind of our 5 senses. Now, students will draw on different experiences throughout the school day, and it will go into their short-term memory. If it's not repeated and rehearsed regularly and reviewed, it will not end up in their long-term memory. And we did a lot of work on assembly this week with students in kind of explaining the importance of regular review. What we want students to do is when they go home at the end of the day is to go through what they've learned in those 5 lessons, kind of review that learning, because there's a higher chance of that successfully being stored in the long-term memory, and then revisit again in a week's time. Okay, this little and often kind of chunking process will help them to be and support them to be more successful learners and more successful learners. Okay, so some of the messages they've had in assembly, I think it's important just to kind of share them with you, is we've asked them, have they been in every day, because attendance this year is crucial. There's high correlation of students that have over 98% attendance achieving the top grades at GCSE. So every day that they are in counts towards kind of like they're not building their knowledge, developing their skill set, and it is really important that their attendance remains high. It's also important for the colleges, so when they apply for the colleges in November and December, the applications go in December, they want to have a good attendance figure on their college application. So they've only really got between now and November to build that high percentage rate. Every day that they have off will that figure will drop dramatically. So kind of reinforcing that message at home to make sure that they're in, even if, you know, they're feeling a little bit under the weather, but to kind of come in, try the best and pick it up, because the catch up, if they're off for a day, they might have missed 5 hours of lessons, it would take them probably 15 to 20 hours to catch up that independently without the expert teacher. The other thing is punctuality. Obviously, if they're late to lesson, they are missing crucial retrieval practice and recall activities that we have at the start of lessons. This again, I spoke to you before just about the memory model, and that's the beginning of all our lessons, are that time for rehearsal, review, repetition, recall. So it's vital that students are on time to lessons. They go in the quickest way possible. We ask students, have they completed all the task set? Are the books pristine? Are they really clear to read, use and follow? Because their class books really are really bespoke revision guides. So, you know, take an interest in them, ask them to show you the books, what have they learned this week, and have a look at the presentation. And is it clear and legible? And, you know, would that handwriting be, you know, easy to read by an examiner? Things like that. Have they set the book out so it's easy to navigate? And have they started to use like glossary pages for keywords, highlighting key information, everything kind of stuck in and in a nice, neat, orderly fashion? We've spoke to them about, did they overcome a challenge or push themselves or secure new knowledge? We don't want them to be coasting or finding things too easy. We want them to kind of like push beyond their target grades and have aspirations to achieve the highest that they possibly can. And then we've asked them, did they complete the home learning task? So I'm going to speak a bit about kind of our home learning expectations. They will have had homework. Have they completed them? I want students to kind of, in terms of the cognitive load, I want them to go home from school and kind of tick things off, action that to-do list. Because we all know, even as adults, you know, we have a huge to-do list, and managing all those tasks through the working day and keeping things, you know, in order at home, we have to tick things off each day, otherwise it becomes an enormous task by the weekend. So getting students into that habit of completing homework and actioning it when they receive it. And then, as I said before, about reviewing the learning, the importance of that. I do my duty and at the evening on the Caddington Gate, and I've spoke to all Year 11 students since we've started, just about have the go home, review your learning from today, okay? Because the task will be so much smaller than leaving it for a week, a month, or wait until the night before an exam. We talked about these overlapping 3 key ingredients, and that in terms of routines, relationships, raising the bar. Our routines in terms of attendance, study habits, home learning, raising the bar in terms of that struggle and repetition, outstanding practice, challenging themselves, and then the relationships with their teachers, the year team, their form tutor, their peers, and drawing on those experts and the people that can support them in being the best version of themselves. Just go back a minute, Miss Sarah. The last thing was we talked about have they completed 2 hours a night. Now, it might seem a lot after a kind of 5-hour day, but the importance of that, it's not just kind of like the home learning, if that is in that 2 hours, but any extra revision or any reviewing, any learning, or using unallocated time if they've got an evening where they didn't have any homework to produce some revision materials, because all of this is an investment in their kind of final goal, which is their GCSE exams. We've got smaller goals that lead up to that kind of support them, but you know, they need to be investing every week, every day along the way to make that kind of final goal much more attainable. So some key dates for your diaries. Obviously this is recorded, so don't think you need to jot it all down. You can take a picture of it as well and pop things in your calendar. The students know that the next 4 weeks we've got colleges coming into assemblies. It's crucial, therefore, that students are in on time, so lined up over the bridge about 8:25, so that they're in on time for assembly, because we won't be letting in people late, especially when the colleges are there and they're looking at students, and students need to make a good impression. So kind of uniform, punctuality, attendance. Those colleges will be sharing, you know, a day in the life of a student at those colleges, talking about courses, application processes, and then also sharing their open days and open evenings. So they're really nice, and it kind of gets the students stimulated in thinking about, you know, the next steps in post-16, because that's the kind of goal after GCSEs, but the application process is all around in the autumn term. Then we've got a key stage 4 effort capture. So teachers will record students' effort in each of their subjects, and also their effort with their home learning. That's really useful data for us as a year team, because they can intervene with the students that are not meeting our expectations. It's useful for you as parents, so you can talk about the successes, again, but also the messages where improvement needs to happen. Obviously, I'll go through the grading system in a minute in terms of what to watch out for, but it would be purposeful if you could have a conversation with your child that this is coming up, teachers are monitoring them in the next 2 weeks, is their effort where it needs to be. And we've got open evening on the Thursday the 28th. I'm just mentioning that because some students will be asked to be kind of tour guides, or some subjects may ask them to be involved in supporting that evening, and it's a really good kind of leadership opportunity for their personal statement as well for college, and a nice leadership example. So just advance notice that that's happening. Speaking exams in October for MFL, and that's part of the college entry process as well. Our post-16 evening is on Thursday the 12th of October. Now, some of you may have come to it last year, so it's always open to year 10 and 11, isn't it, Miss Sarwar? Yeah, no. So they might have come last year kind of for a look around, but it's crucial that they attend this year. All the colleges will be there. This is where you can ask the sixth form, colleges, apprenticeships, all of the experts in post-16, any questions or queries you have about the courses, whether it's suitable for your child. They can go around and ask questions. They can get a real good flavour and that, you know, motivation and drive about, you know, next steps. Our personal statement deadline is the 20th of October. So they've been starting to compose the personal statements with their form tutor, but then following that up in their respect lessons, which is once a week. So ask them about that, check it, have a read over it, and, you know, again, be curious about what they've written. We've then got our college entry mock exams. So they might have started to talk about them, but this is our fortnight assessment period, our first assessment window, but it's such a crucial one. because the results from these mock exams, so the students will sit mock exams in all of their subjects that they're sitting for GCSE in a 2-week window, which, you know, is intense compared to the real exam period. But what happens is the results from those mock exams we use to kind of send to college to give them an indication of what grade the students are destined to kind of achieve, and if the courses that we're applying for are suitable for them. So it's not like, you know, it's probably one of the most important ones they will do, because it will define what colleges will offer them a place as well. So please stress the importance of them in terms of preparation and preparing for them now, not leaving it till after half term, because it will come round so quickly. Our college application deadline is the 23rd of November. That's when students will have completed their application forms. They will already have done their personal statement, and then alongside a form tutor reference, those 3 pieces of information will be sent off to the colleges. We have to meet that deadline so that the colleges can process them, and then after Christmas, students will start to receive offers or replies in the post then.
Has to be 3 applications.
Yeah, students need to apply for 3 colleges, and Misal will talk a bit more about the college application process later in this meeting. There's a dance NEA choreography on the 27th of November. Then in the end of November, we've got our mock exam results morning. So students come and collect their college entry mock exam results in an envelope. We kind of, you know, mock up that morning of results day in August. They get the results, and some students are really disappointed. Some students, the kind of like effort that they've put in, they deserve the kind of results that they've got. So for some students, the penny drops then, but for other students, it's, you know, it's testimony to the work that they've put in from the beginning. So they will have that morning, and then following that morning in the evening, we're inviting parents in for our parents' evening. So we've got some, you know, some data there to talk about. You'll be able to meet all the class teachers and then talk about the next steps then, and kind of what action points your child might need to do to kind of improve. And then on the 5th of December, you'll get a short report home, which will include all of this data, and you can have those conversations then just before the last week of term with your child at home. So just some key dates for you there. Next one, Miss. So the focus of our assessment at Chorlton High School is determined by 3 kind of factors. So we look at effort, habits, and then learning, and these 3 indicators are what determine the future success of the students at Chorlton High School. We would really value your support in honing students' effort, so not only in class but at home, and also, you know, healthy habits and productive habits, and what they do kind of in their own time, because they're with us Monday to Friday, 8:30 till, you know, 2:45. But then after school and at the weekend, those habits need to be mirrored as well. It makes a massive difference. And last year, 2023, our cohort, our last year's year 11s, achieved the best results for any comprehensive school in Manchester. So they are in safe hands. And we can only go so far in school without the support of the parents and the families we have in our Chorlton High School community. That wouldn't be possible. So, you know, we would really, really value your support with honing the effort of the students and building and maintaining really those good habits. Thanks, Miss. So we touched on home study before. Our minimum offering, so what you should expect students to be receiving, is an hour and a half of each of their core subjects per week. So that's an hour and a half of English, maths and science, an hour and a half of a language per week, so whether that's French or Spanish if they do a language, up to 2 hours a fortnight of history or geography, and then up to 2 hours per fortnight of their option subjects. So that could be, you know, any of the other options that they've chosen. Maths homework is set on Sparks, and you will be familiar with that. The maths department have used that maybe for 2 years now. The homework's set on a Wednesday, and it's due in on the next Wednesday. On that platform, it's amazing because it's not only the homework, the students can go in and do extra work. So encouraging that, again, you know, Sparks is Marks is kind of the motto with that package, and the more they do, the higher grade they can secure. And the maths team do run a Sparks Club in S71 every Thursday. So if access to a computer is an issue, they can go there. But also with support, like if they're unsure, if they're accessing, you know, they've done the homework and then they want to access extra material, are they accessing it at the right level for them? So, you know, there's expert maths team there that can support with that. English, science and computing set their homework on Educate, which is a new online platform, like kind of like a quiz and question and review, but it also kind of draws on students' weaknesses and will set new repeated recall information for them to overlearn it. Languages is set on Quizlet, again, which is a quizzing tool for revisiting and learning and testing knowledge. And then other subjects will use MS Teams to share the homework. They might hand out hard copies as well to complete. Students also have access to a variety, so not only the platforms I've just talked about, but other platforms to support with their home studies. So GCSE Pod is one. It's got all subjects on it. It's got pods, so you know, if your child is a bit more interactive, they can listen to a pod with earphones on the way to school. So it's a bit kind of like, you know, like an audio book. So they can listen or they can view the videos, pause them, make notes, etc. And then there are quizzes that go with it as well. Seneca is another quizzing tool. Students can sign up to that on their own. Some class teachers use that as well for revision. But you can sign up and set your own login, and then students can pick their subject area and it will give them quizzes based on that. But Teams is kind of like our digital communication tool. So MS Teams, which the students have been used to using since year 7, that has on it all the subject areas. It's got revision materials. Teachers will post information on there about home learning as well, but that's kind of the communication tool between the student and the teacher. If they want to ask any questions, they can use the chat facility, and then all the lessons can be stored on there as well. And that's kind of like holds the main digital platform. All the different online platforms have logins, and the students have been made aware of them as well. So if you've got any issues with them, speak to the student first, and then they can speak to their form tutor. But they've all been kind of like trained on this through the department area. So if you've got an issue, kind of the curriculum leader for that department would be the best point of call. I know there's a lot of them, and it can become confusing. I appreciate that, but we've selected the best platforms for the subject. So having one platform doesn't meet the needs of all the subject areas. Unfortunately, someone's not come up with that kind of idea yet, and you know, we can't have them all on one. But Teams is kind of like our own version of one, but all these other like digital platforms feed into it because they're quite bespoke to different subject areas. So kind of to support all of the home learning at home and what goes on in school, all of the subject areas have offered a revision session. So these are bespoke for year 11 students, and this year we've got a morning breakfast revision timetable, and we've also got an after school one. So we've advertised this to students this morning. We had a digital assembly, and we want students to set their alarm and set themselves up for the day with breakfast revision. So every day the study centre is open from 7:45 a.m. So students can come. It's a space with computers, there's resources there, desks. It's a bit kind of like a library environment, and they can come and get on with some independent work and maximise the time in the morning before they start the school day. And then on Mondays we've got PE revision, GCSE PE revision, Tuesday geography, Wednesday history, Thursday triple chemistry, and also Spanish and French, and then on a Friday combined science and GCSE PE. So every day there's something there in the morning. And then after school on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, we've got a full offer there. Because we've got so many subjects, we've kind of had to split them into week A and week B. But students have received this timetable today. It's up in their form rooms as well. But it's just encouraging them to go to a revision session after school and in the morning. And also that conversation about spreading the time between different subjects, not going where their friends are going, and maybe going to a subject where they found it difficult the past week and they need some expert, kind of intervention. It's not like, oh, I'll go there because I'm good at it, or so-and-so's going there, or I like that teacher, so I'll go there. It's what's going to be the best investment for them in terms of their time after school, because staff are giving up their time to offer these after school. Okay. So in terms of revision habits, we spoke about kind of like work and revision we want students to be doing at home. This is something we kind of like share with them later on, but I just wanted to kind of like share it with you guys as parents in terms of how to break up their revision sessions, because quite often students will go up to their room and say, oh, I'm revising, and actually they've not really done much in that time. They've procrastinated or stared at a blank piece of paper or just done one thing and actually learned nothing in that time. So it's been like not a good investment. So if a session was an hour, we'd ask them to kind of split it up in these kind of sections. So first one would be to kind of review their work, maybe do a knowledge dump, revisit something that they found hard, find the areas in that piece of work or in that lesson that they found difficult. So that would be like the first 10 minutes. Then just spend 20 minutes doing some purposeful practice. So going on a revision website, so BB Spitesize is a really good basic one for everyone, or a revision guide, or going on Teams, or using a knowledge organizer, whatever information source they want to use, and then adding detail to their review that they've just done. And they could do that in the class book as well. So this could be part of extending the notes in the class book, and going a bit deeper with their knowledge. Then we'd like them to spend 20 minutes doing some retrieval practice, either answering an exam question or testing themselves, or doing a quiz on Seneca, or doing a quiz on GCSE Pod, something that will test them. Have I learned that information I've just practiced, or applying that knowledge in a different context? And then the final 10 minutes, going back over, reviewing maybe a tick list, checking their answers against the mark scheme, or making a flashcard with the bits that they're still unsure of. So it's not just an hour reading a revision guide. That wouldn't be purposeful practice, and no one can absorb any information in for that length of time. But breaking it up into this review, learn, practice and check. And it's the check section, using mark schemes, going back through the notes and checking their understanding, that is crucial in making the most difference for students. So how can you support at home? What we'd like you to do is encourage attendance at the revision sessions. The home study package obviously involves homework that teachers are going to set in all of their subjects, but also that regular revision. So, they need to be doing that alongside the homework. So talk to your child about what they have, what they've completed, and what else they could do in kind of an evening where they've not really got much homework on, or they've done it all already. So what is their next step? What else could they be doing? Start developing a routine with them of that sustained little and often, and developing their independence. So even if they've not got any homework, they should be doing kind of some home study or revision each night, or reviewing the learning, making a revision card, just something small that's kind of eats away at the bigger picture and is supportive and a good investment for the long-term goal. Helping them to have kind of a quiet space to study, and if that's not able to happen at home, signposting the library, or signposting them to come to the study centre before or after school. Resources that they might need: highlighter, coloured pen, paper, and if you need any support with that as well, just get in contact with us. Encourage them to do active revision. So it's not just the read a revision guide, like I said, it's testing themselves, what have they learned, and setting up good habits. You know, you might say, I'll test you, and, you know, they might make a quiz themselves, 10 questions based on, you know, something they've learned in history, and then you can quiz them and they've got the answers there to see if it's gone into their memory. Encourage them to review the learning for that day and make revision cards as they go along. You know, it will reduce any stress nearer the time of the exams. It will make them feel more confident. It will build those habits that, you know, we see in the most successful students who sit their exams in May and June in the real GCSEs, those that have been prepared from day one, you know, absolutely fly through their exams. And then encouraging them to go on the digital platforms and go the extra mile. So not just what's been set in the bare minimum, but the next steps. Okay.
Okay, it's my
So
turn.
Ms. Sarwar is going to continue.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss. Okay, we have got some questions. We're going to respond to those questions at the end. So what I'm going to talk about is the reports. So the kind of the grading the 11 students will have. So they will basically return to the normal last summer. Okay, there's no special consideration. Every single thing will be examined. So that's why we're focusing on good revision habits, because the current year 11s will be like, you know, the last year's year 11s as well, that they will be tested on everything. So that's the main message, because if I teach science and I'm telling them about physics equations, there are 23 equations you have to learn for your physics paper, and you're not going to get those equations, okay? So you have to learn them by heart. So the way we're teaching them now, we have changed our way of teaching as well. So there's more going into the memory, they're memorizing more, and the only way they can memorize is by reviewing, and the power of review. So that is our focus. These are the messages they are getting. And the next thing is the reporting. So the students in 2 weeks' time, year 10 and 11s both, if you got a child in year 10, so you know, this is benefit for you to know that they will be getting the first set of report is purely based on their effort grades. Okay, the effort grades, the effort they're putting in lessons, and also the effort they're putting at home. And that data is crucial, because that gives us an indicator of how child is doing. Are they putting enough effort in? If they're not putting any effort in, then we will start working. The year team is massive. Okay, so we have a lot of people in our year team, including the form tutors. We are working with them already as an ISP coach. So when we look at that data, there will be more individual support plan for those students. They need the support, but we are basically focusing on effort, more effort, not pretending to work, but they are actively involved. They're doing their homework, they're doing extra, they're bringing back some what they are doing at home. And I got lots of pictures on my phone where I can see the people that are producing beautiful revision cards, and also they are testing. So that kind of motivation is there with the year team, and we're driving that. College entry exam results will look like this, okay, where they will be getting the levels for their exams, and including their target grades, and also their effort grades, and learning again. So the effort will be focused in 2 weeks' time. The effort data will be our only effort data, and after 2 weeks' time, and after college entry exams, there will be a full set of reports. But again, so that effort data can change. But I will be using that effort data and that report when they will be applying for the colleges, and it's crucial that they secure their place by December. Okay, or by December. What I normally do before we break up for Christmas, we send all the application forms. And during the 2 weeks holidays, people beginning to hear, and then January is quite busy, and then it carries on till the end of March. And that's why it is really, really important that they apply for 3 colleges, Plan A and Plan B. Okay, the SEND students, yes, during mock exam period, students entitled to access arrangements such as the extra time, readers and scribes will be provided with these as they would be in the normal exams. And also, students will be offered additional hours of class support with college application form and personal statements. And if you think that your child does need support with personal statement and application form, please do let us know. but the teaching assistants will be working with them. Revision and home study support, particularly around the teaching of revision strategies and supporting and organizing and home study timetable. So that we will be working with them based on what kind of support they need. The more communication is better. Okay, just let us know where the students who are with us for 5 hours and they are basically learning, and when they go home they talk to you and they will be speaking to you and they will be honest. So let us know, involve us more so we can help and we can support your child, because we do have life skill lessons. We also have the PE lessons where we can pull the students out and we can provide them support with the personal statements or application forms or the home study tab habits or types of organization, or if they're feeling any overwhelming and they really need some support for their own well-being. We have Miss Dunville, she runs the sessions on Grow and Rise, and we also do some sessions with the students. They are struggling. We got the pink room, so support is in place, and we can signpost the students to those wherever the offer is available. But you need to let us know, and we need to talk to us in person, or you can send us an email, whatever. We're here to help you. So what we're doing for autumn 1 is personal statements and the study skills, and we will be focusing on post 16 and everything, like as Miss mentioned already, that we will have post 16 evening, and the colleges are coming in for next 5 weeks. Every assembly is hijacked by them. They will be basically talking about their expectations. They will bring the prospectuses, and they will be also bringing their application forms. And those application forms we're going to give them when the students will be applying for the colleges. We're not going to give the application forms straight away. We have going to do some practice, mock type application process where they practice how to fill the application forms. Once their personal statements are done, we're going to give them the proper application forms. You don't need to print them out. You're going to take them home, and can you please do sit with them and complete the application forms. Make sure whatever they write for their application for whatever subject they have chosen, if there's a reflection on their personal statements. If they're applying for suppose A-level chemistry or business studies, make sure that the personal statements speaks about those subjects. And right at the end, if they're applying for the 3 different colleges, this is what I suggest, is make sure that they write that college's name specifically. So it's just not like a one standard, one generic application form. It needs to be quite personal. This is what the colleges want. And same college application process, and then they will have the college entry exam for autumn 2 and the feedback fortnight. And this term is quite hectic. It will be very, very packed. It will be full going on. That's why the punctuality and attendance is crucial. By the time it's a springtime in January, that is the time when they will beginning to see the big picture, and they will come to me and they say, "So, can we change this subject? Can you speak to the colleges? I can't do that subject. Can feel," and that kind of the feelings they will have. But please do not panic, because life skill lessons that after the December time will be purely English and maths tuition. Okay, and me and Miss Moylan, we both are science teachers. We will be also doing the science tuitions as well in those in those lessons. So that will be more enrichment type activities will be going on, how to revise the topics they struggle the most, and we'll be preparing them for mock exams, and that will be in spring too. And then summer 1, that's it then, preparing for GCSEs, and in a way that the whole Easter holidays, 2 weeks holidays, will be where students will be coming into school, and they will be invited for the revision sessions by their teachers. So lots of teachers, majority of the teachers, they do run those revision sessions during Easter time, and also the weekend. Saturdays will be gone as well. So I would say after December time, after Christmas time, the Saturdays will be busy. There will be revision sessions going on. We will be inviting students for revision, and there will also the Easter holidays. So they will be ready for summer 1 exam. And hopefully summer 2 will be from our exam first, exam first, and then the main said, yeah, that we will launch Prom Passport to motivate students so they can attend after school club, after school sessions, and they show us them, you know, how they're revising, and that will be something nice to end. And they're already asking me, well, why did you book 4 coaches? You need to book 6 coaches, but there will be a criteria to go to prom, and that will be, again, it's the same criteria. We will be looking at the effort grade, we'll be looking at the attendance, we'll be looking at the punctuality, and also they need to attend the after school revision sessions or the morning revision sessions or any revision sessions during holidays. And that will be the main incentive, you know, for them to go on the prom, and they will feel that they have earned that place for the prom. They haven't, you know, they're not just going because, you know. So prom date will be in June, about 27 to.
And I'll just get to it.
Yeah, I will 27 to 29. I think that 9th of June. It will be some of the
27th of June.
27th of June.
So
yeah. So that will be a nice way to end. And then this is basically a more detailed information about what we're doing in during form time. And form time is crucial. 8:30. I think if students come to school at 8:25, that will be the best time, so they can line up, they get the mark, the uniform get checked, and they'll go to the form. And I, you know, personally make sure that the form time is good enough for the students and their learning. So we divided what will be happening in the form time. So as you can see, preparation for mock exams, that means revision techniques. Today, you know, this week they're looking at the self-motivation, and that is the crucial thing, because they are self-motivated. They are the one, they will create the independent study timetable. They are the one you don't need to keep an eye on whether they're doing homework or not. And they are the ones, they will be organized. So that kind of the stuff they will be doing during form time, growth mindset approach, how to move forward, employability skills, because they will be also applying for the apprenticeship, you know, or some of them are already 16 and they said they're looking for the part-time job, and then that kind of the, you know, so they are fully skilled before they finish Halton High School, and they're ready for big world out there. Okay, so a lot of stuff is going on at form time, so the form time is crucial. So make sure they come to school on time. Okay. The next one is post-16 preparation. Is I know the majority of you came last year, but this year is basically you're going to come on 12th October, 6 till 8:30 p.m. And then there will be lots of providers as last year. And then you have to go around, speak to them, ask questions, and collect the prospectuses and also the application forms. It's best to have the physical copy of the prospectuses. I know everything is online now, but not many, you know, it's nice to have that copy with you. And it's quite nice, you know, that the first, I'm not head of year, when I was head of year, it was nice time for me to look at when they have their first assembly and they got their college's prospectuses in their hand and they're asking questions. What do you think? Shall we do this course or shall we do that course? What's the requirement for this one? What's the requirement for that one? And they come home with the prospectus. It's like another book. So it's nice, and you know, they enjoy that time as well with them when and be part of, you know, what's happening in school. And especially when you are part of these post-16 evenings and the college assemblies, they will be bringing lots of stuff. So make sure they put everything together somewhere. It's not spread out here and there. And so yeah, there's lots of colleges and sixth form colleges, as you can see already. And I know with my personal experience, been doing this job for 20 years, Loreto queue is always huge. Massive. So first comes first, serves first, be there, be the first one and be on time, and it will help you to ask as many questions as you can, because they're oversubscribed, and we are the main feeders for those colleges. So these are the post-16 routes. When you come and you can ask about, lots of courses. There are A-level courses, there are vocational courses. Okay, there's some sixth forms. They do offer nice vocational courses. There are also some T-levels, and in some colleges, not every colleges offer the T-levels. But if you are interested in T-levels, talk to them. Trafford is the main one in Manchester. They are the main ones. And which one are the traineeship or the study programs? So you can ask them as well. And who offers the foundation courses. So a lot of the courses been offered, but make sure you're open-minded and you're asking as many questions as you can. And yes, there will be a college, the parents' evening. A parents' evening will be in person, and yes, we are delighted to see you in person. It will be nice for us to have this last parents' evening with you.
Discuss the results. Someone's just asked there about what's iCould. iCoud's a really good website actually. The students have been on it at the end of year 10 on one of the strike days, but it's a careers website, but it's absolutely amazing. It kind of they fill in questionnaires and it directs them to different careers. You can research loads of careers because sometimes students need to work from a career downwards and then pick which, post-16 courses will get them to that career. So that's something that could be really purposeful for you to work on together at home. Kudos is similar, but iCould is it's a really good resource, and would recommend that you go on there and have a look at it.
Yeah. So and then college application process. I have just gone through it, just briefly touched it. But 30th of November is the last date when they're going to bring their application forms back. Can you please check? Make sure your signatures are there. Make sure your student signatures are there. Make sure they use the black pen and everything should be filled in with the capital letters. Because this is what sometimes I struggle the most is if there is anything that is missing, then the application form is going to go back down again. So whoever's going to bring the application forms first will get dispatched first. Okay. Right. Okay, so these are the college open days. I have put this information on MS Teams. I'm really apologize. It's too small, but that information is on MS Teams. If you go on it, you can see it's a quite big A4 sheet, and you can basically, the first one is on 21st of September. That's Whalley Range High School. But 23rd of September is quite packed, so make sure you prioritize which open days you're going to attend. For Zaverian and Loreto, you have to book the college the taste open days, because if you just say, if you have books, suppose if your child wants to do the languages or business studies or any maths, and then you booking yourself with that department. So it is important that you book your the places, you book your appointments with for the college open days. There are some you don't need to book, you just turn up. So please keep an eye on the website. I got all the information for the whole year now on this sheet when their open days are. So it's a quite useful information. The Miss Patrick is a career staff. She has done it for me. Year 10's got this information as well, and Year 11's will also have that information.
We can email that out with the link to the recording.
Yeah. But then if you go onto the MS Teams, Year 11, it's on there already. Right, mental fitness provision is always there. We do prioritize your children's mental health. We make sure that the support is there. We have got in Year 11 the study center. It's a quite big center, and there's always students when they can't cope with the day-to-day, and if they get recommended by the mentor or the teachers or safeguarding team, we do basically have our sessions in here as well, and we give them a little bit of break. And so there are quite a few different types. So universal is basically how we can make sure that they look after their mental health is through the pastoral curriculum, also to the respect curriculum. They have the focus weeks as well. And to just like this week for Year 10 and 11, I created a PowerPoint, what makes me happy. And it was very nice, very simple task, and then everyone was just like buzzing and talking about what makes them happy, and also through the assemblies as well, and also the support in curriculum area. And intervention is some interventions, so it doesn't require any referral. Wave 1 support is like timeout passes and quiet spaces, one-to-one touch bases, the websites and internet support. And yes, for that is the referral. There's a referral system. So we got quite a few actually in year 10, year 11, sorry, they got timeout passes. Some they do deserve, some that sometimes I think it's not necessary, but we do review. And if we think if the timeout pass is not working, then we try something else. But we work very closely working very closely as a whole year team. With the 11, we're on the corridors, we keep going around, we are checking that everyone looks happy, are you okay? We pull them out, we do have a chit chat with them and we send them back. We just there all the time. Wave 2 is about boost group sessions and growth mindset. This is what the heads of years and the Kelsey Donwell, she runs those sessions. And again, she just mentioned this week quite a few people's names. They said, now I want these people in my session for my sessions. I said, okay, you can, but they're not allowed to miss lessons. But you can come out maybe from life skill or PE lesson. We also have Wave 3 is the 42nd Street and the counseling, music therapy, drama therapy. And the Wave 4 is CAMS, speech and language, education psychology, school nurses, and all that. Everything is under, happening in here. Everyone is aware of it. And those students, they need more or less we're on top of everything. If not, then you can still send an email to your head of year. And also, if they are worried about if you are worried about your mental health, please do seek advice. And also, the first, I will always say as a parent myself, the GP, there's the first instance, make sure the GPs are involved, because that is a quite fast and more proactive approach. But yeah, do keep us in a loop. We would like to help them and you in this for next 9 months. Okay,
so we've got some questions that we're going to try best to respond to them. Yeah, so homework on Teams assignments, the majority will be like Sparks, it's on there, so kind of like duplicating it on Teams, but most of the information that's kind of like our communication platform, teachers or curriculum leaders will share information about home learning and key messages on there, so that's kind of like a good first point of call. Next question, Miss.
The thing is, the homework on MS Team is a minimum requirement, okay?
Yeah.
If they do that, it's fine. But just like I have been teaching science today, and I've been give them extra exam question on work done without doing physics. So they took it home, and I said, do that at home and then bring it back. So sometimes we think as a teachers, okay, do you know what? This is where the gap is. I want the child to go back and home and apply that knowledge. And so sometimes they bring the paper copies home as well. The best thing is, please do check their books. They need to bring their books home, and you need to check what they've been doing. And we keep telling them the power of review. The review is all about, take book home and then revisit what they have done and add more information in. So that kind of approach we're having in year 11, make them more independent. But yes, whatever is on MS Teams, if it's there and if they do it, it's fine, but they will be getting extra work.
Okay, so someone's asked about the revision sessions with this year going back to pre-pandemic ways of examining. Yeah, so there's only 3 nights on after school, and the reason for that is because Monday all staff have a meeting, so there's no revision sessions on them because all staff are in training, CPD, that's all on a Monday, so that's given over to staff for professional development. And Friday we want students to kind of like focus on the well-being, so kind of like have a night off. But every morning there is there's a revision session, or the study centre is open. You've also said about putting more time in for maths and English.
We're doing life
so skills. In life skills and during form time, probably once the college application process is done, we dedicate time for interventions then, so they do get extra time then.
And for Friday, we do have morning sessions.
Yeah, there is a morning session. There's a science session in the morning, but we want to encourage students to kind of have one night off.
And it starts at 8 o'clock. so that they can come in and they can, so there are some morning revision sessions as well. So Friday is, there is something on
And
Friday.
we've done our best just to kind of like offer for all subject areas. But again, students do need to manage the time and which ones they're going to themselves. Educate and Quizlet, no, it doesn't notify parents, but you can get their login, so you can log in and have a look. So ask them to share it with you. And if you need any more information on that, contact the curriculum leader for that subject. I know it's more confusing having more platforms, but like I said, they're bespoke. The curriculum areas have had a look at all different ones and pick the one that's most suitable for their course. Because we as the practitioners kind of know what's best. Usually sometimes people designing them have been out of the classroom for a long time. So we have to pick the ones that are most suitable for the students and promoting success for them. I think we've answered that one. Yeah, so students that need support with organisation and where to start with that kind of support packages through form time. So we do a lot of kind of guided practice with that on how to revise, timetables, etc. And students will be getting revision lists for the mock exams by the end of this week. So then the week after, form time will be centred around, where to start, how to manage the time well, and interleaving subjects. Daniel, you've asked about effective way of ensuring that all the content in each GCSE subject is covered. The best solution for that is the specification. So go on the exam website. So for science, for example, it's combined science, AQA, trilogy, or the separate sciences, and get the specification. You can download them, and they're just, that's your kind of master copy to refer that everything's been covered. Staff will also give students PLCs, which are personal learning checklists, so they kind of have content on them, and it's a master tick list for students to tick things off. Sarah, you've asked about information. So you've asked about which exam will be for college entry. You'll get a timetable of when they're sitting the exams, and also towards the end of this week the details. So for example, in science, they're not going to sit all papers, which papers they're going to sit, what the revision list is, and then where the materials are to support them with that as well. So some guidance for all three. If it's support about, so Susie, you've asked about support for your child if your child needs additional support in exams. Miss Stapley or Senko about that if they've got additional requirements.
Also send an email to Miss Banton.
Or Miss Banton, head of year, and she can kind of signpost that to the best place. Right, we've done that.
Yeah, we've done it.
Parents' evening is going to be in person, and the PowerPoint will be available on the website. GCSE revision guides, and I really value a hard copy rather than reading on the internet. I think there's a lot of research behind it that having a paper copy and having it in front of you can be more purposeful than reading it online. But whereas online and packages are good for kind of like the practice and self-testing elements, because they kind of like design the quizzes, they're already there for us. So I would value having a GCSE revision guide, but we want students to be using them. The ones we recommend they're all on the parent portal, so it's on Arbor. So the ones that we have available to purchase, and we do offer them at kind of a better rate because we buy them in bulk, are on Arbor. So you can purchase them on there, and then they're available to collect at student services. So they're the ones that we recommend. We have them in house, and get students using them, writing in them, post-it noting them, putting them in their bags and bringing them to the lesson. So if they're unsure on something in a lesson, they can use that as a reference tool. We want to build our students to be kind of independent, because they're the students that are most successful in their exams.
I got lots of years 11. They just gave so many revision guides to me, and they look brand new because they didn't get a chance to use. So you don't need to buy. You can send your child to the study center, and I'm telling you, there's loads, about hundreds of revision guides we got in here. They can come in and have a look, okay? And if there's anything missing that they don't have it, then they can buy that one. So please don't buy yet. Use the ones I have got in the study center, because I'm telling you, I always say to buy the revision guide in year 10, because then they got 2 years period to go through.
Yeah, to use it.
But so now still not too late. But if they're buying it, it's fine. If they get from the library, that's best. If I got the loads in the study center, you can they can have a look. But please, if you already bought them, that's brilliant. Okay, because we are running out of the good revision guides as well. But please ask your child to bring them to school and use them in lesson. I taught the physics lesson today, and I shown them how to use the revision guide, and they were. And I also shown them the specification as well. So the use specification, use the revision guide, read, and then create a little mind map at the end, the revision card for that topic. And I'm telling you, they were really, really amazed that they said how good to know that what specification is, and that tells them what they need to learn. And revision guides is just there with lots of examples of that topic, and they were really buzzing today. So that is one of the practice we're sharing with you. But the revision guide, if they got them, they can bring them to school. Why not? And they can use in lessons as well. I hope that this helps. Okay, if there are any questions, and if you want us to meet with us, or if you want anything, we are here for you. This year we are basically, I'm here at, I can't tell you what time I come to school.
Miss
But
Sawa lives here.
but if you want to drop your child at 6:45, by 7:45, that's too early. 7:45, 8, 7:45, then they can come here, and I will help them to to revise, and then they will be supervised. I also start giving them breakfast as well. So this will be quite a nice atmosphere. It won't be a lonely time period for them. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
We're all in it together, and we will smash this year's results, and hopefully everyone will be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Our emails are there if you need to contact us for anything.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for your time. It will be up on the website. We'll send a little link out and attach the revision timetable, the college open days, and any key information about the mock exam results. So kind of quite an informative email just as a follow-up to this.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.